Okay, we're all here learning together. And the beautiful thing is that in this space that we are all aspiring to transition into is a space for learning. And one thing that I've learned about consulting is that even if you've never heard of the technology before, responsibilities will make you learn. Yes, so that's it. And also, when it comes to getting opportunity in UK, I can assure you, you will learn a lot. So you just need to, while you're applying and while you're looking for that position, just try as much as possible, do your own survey, look for the skill that is most requested for, and start building yourself. It might take you 1 month, it might take you 2 months, but I can assure you that one day you will receive that congratulation information. So, but while you're waiting for, while you're building yourself, building your skill, there is a possibility that everything is just scattered everywhere. You are working, but you have, I would say you have nothing to show for it, but you have no repository to show for it. And that's why what we are learning today is very important and very key to your data career journey. And a simple story about me, I think I started using Git, is it not 2 or 3 years ago? And the reason why I ventured into Git was because I want to have personal website and I don't have money for hosting. And why do I need personal website? As a data professional, it's good that your CV is okay. Okay, it's good that your CV is direct to the point as much as possible. But you will see some people that they want to know more about you. And there are a lot of things you've done that you cannot squeeze everything within your CV. And that's why your personal website is very key and important. And I won't advise that you go and buy domain, do all those things. No, that's one of the reasons why GitHub is available for everybody. So you can develop a simple website which speaks about yourself. You'll be seeing mine. I'll be using mine as an example today. And the beauty about GitHub is that you can clone my repository and change everything about it and make it your own. And that makes it very sweet and very simple. And even on LinkedIn, you will see a space that will ask you for your own personal website. You can just paste your GitHub link such that whenever someone click there, it takes them to your personal website. And from there, everything you want to tell them about yourself, you can tell them from there. So without further explanation, let me just share my screen and we go into working with GitHub. Okay, yes. Okay, this one is by the side. Let's go into GitHub. Don't mind me. I just dropped this link on the group. And yes, maybe if time permits, I can still talk a little bit about it. Yes, so this is the Git environment. This guys, okay, let me just say, okay. So this is your Git environment. Can we all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, good. So this GitHub, so somebody might be asking, GitHub, what is GitHub? I would like to tell you that GitHub is another form of OneDrive or Google Drive. You can see, very simple. So if you know OneDrive, if you know Google Drive, if you know Dropbox, yes. So all these environments, they are called version control environment. And Git is also something like that. But the difference between OneDrive and Google Drive and GitHub is that GitHub is strictly for text documents and is mainly used by developers. And I hope we know that all these beautiful interfaces we are seeing are all as a result of text in one form or the other. Is when all these texts come together, that's when it gives you a beautiful website that you're seeing. So that text that is making up this page that you're seeing is what GitHub um, um, helps you to house. Like, so house it in the sense that it's like your folder. So now that's just the basic things about GitHub. And how do you go create your account in GitHub? Just go to www.github.com, then you create your account. And somebody might be saying, why do I need it? I think I will have mentioned that. It's just for you to make sure that every project you are learning or you are building, you have something to show for it. And in future, you can build up your capacity to the level of whereby you're training people. Also, you can use GitHub to share the resources of the training. And also for the professionals in data and AI platform, we thought of it that it would be good you learn this now so that most of our, I won't say programming, but when it comes to learning Python and doing SQL, I cannot be sharing those scripts. So all those scripts will also actually be on our GitHub repo. And that's why we are letting you know now. And the expectation is that you should be able to create this for yourself. And when you start developing things, when you start learning new things online, maybe you're learning how to write Python, maybe you're learning how to do R. Yes, data scientists, statisticians, you use R. So maybe you're learning SQL. SQL is nothing but code, like script or text. Let me put it that way. You understand? All those things you can put on GitHub. And whenever a recruiter reach out to you, oh, do you know how to use this tool? You can tell them, yes, I know how to use it. And you can check this link for the works I've done using that platform. And they can go there, validate it. And that makes it quite tangible for people to see that, okay, you have actually done something using this tool. Yes, so in order to create GitHub, just come to this website. I will be creating one for us now. I'll be using our email that's professionals in data and AI. So I'll just sign up. Okay. So it's telling me these are our emails. So I'll just click continue and password. 1 minute. Okay, let me note that somewhere. 1 minute. All right. So if you're also doing the same thing, that's why I'm taking my time. So you can also replicate the same thing on your own system and you can just follow through. Very simple. It's just like you creating OneDrive or so enter username. So this username is the display name that people will see on your page. So when you say these are my projects, at least they want to say something about it. So I will just use professionals uh, data and AI. Professional data and AI. Let me remove professionals. Professional data uh, and AI. So just know that the AI is the surname. Can I use first name? Yes, professionals, data and AI. I can put in. It will still work as my username. So we just know that anything you see in this Git repo, in this Git environment belongs to professionals in data and AI. Just click continue. All things being equal. Is it complaining? Is it too long? 1 minute. Seems it's too long. Professional DAI.
Is the ampersand?
Yes, I think okay. Oh, okay. It's showing professionals. Let me put space in data. Let me just put data AI. We know ourselves. Space is not accepting space. So I think, or can't we use that short form? PDAI. I think that's better. Is it too short? The guy is complaining. Professionals DAI. Yes, let me just use professional DAI. So professionals in data and AI, we know ourselves. So that's good. Do you want to receive occasional product updates and announcements? No. So I'll just move on. So they won't be this fighting my email. So now they will have sent a verification code. Protect your account. Let me just say verify. So he's asking you to point this guy to the direction of this. Okay. Yes. So he's pointing this way. So I'll just submit and it's done. I was expecting verification code. Yes. So he's asking me for verification code. Let me just save this so I won't have to be this device only. So I won't have to cram that. So they've sent a verification code to our email. So I'll just copy that and paste. Okay, so I'll just sign in. Good. He's asking how many people will be working with me. Let me encourage them and say we'll be up to 5. Are you a student or teacher? We are teachers. And continue. So this one is just a survey. I wish I can minimize this guy. Hide. Where is hide there? The guy is not showing. Perfect. All right. Good. So he's asking what specific features are you interested in using? So I like collaborative coding, automation, that's continuous integration, continuous development. I love security. I'm not interested in that for now. And project management, yes, that's fine. Team administration, all this you can still come back and update. That's just. So they're asking you, which one do you want, free or you want to the paid version? I'll just continue for free for now. Yes, and this is our repository, our like our GitHub like web page. So this our landing page when yes, this is the landing page. So at least you've successfully created your landing page. So in this case, this is professionals in data and AI landing page. And if you come to, please, if you have any question, you can ask. If you come to the top of the menu here, you can see yourself. That should be your personal email. And yes, I think those are the things that we have for now. All these are your account profile, your repositories, which are the things we'll be creating, your project. So if you have project within your group, they can invite you to contribute to a project. So you'll be seeing in here, it here, all the projects you've been able to contribute. Then your co-pilot, everybody is saying ChatGPT and everything. You can also use it here. Yes. So yeah, I think that's it. So that's the first step in what we have today. That's creating your GitHub account. So if you've been able to do this, I would like you to celebrate that. Now, can we move on? So once you've been able to create your GitHub account, the next thing that you start with is you create your repository. Your repository is nothing but, you know, the way you go to your folder and you create a file, a folder. Yes, that's what your repository is. So just come here, just select create repository. So in this case, we'll be creating our first repository in this space, which is what we just say learn Git, right? So learn Git is telling us it's available. So I'll just put, so that's our repository. And why I just say learn Git is just, is a name, just give it any name. So I can say our first Git, Git repository, learning in learning on professionals in data and AI platform. All right. So now this, do I want it to be private or public? So the recommendation is that for you, if you're starting, well, nobody advised me when I was starting. So I made all my projects public. So that what that means is that people can see it, even the ones that are still in process, even the ones I've completed, and even the ones I was battling with, I have to abandon. It's in public, everybody can see it. But the recommendation is sometimes you want to start with, you want your repository to be private first. And the meaning of private is that you can only be the one to access it. And so what happened is that if you create it in private, you do all the work, all the dirty works. When you're satisfied and the thing looks good and looks very presentable, then you can create another repository. They are not charging you for it, it's free. You can create another repository and copy all the successful projects into that public environment. So it's that public one that you share to people. But this one, because at least it's the first one, and there is nothing stopping us from making it public, so we just make it public. But at least I've been able to differentiate why it's good to have it private at times. And if you're working in an organization, most of your repository will be private because you don't want your competitors to see your IP by pushing all your codes to public space. It's not advisable. But if you know your goal is to use anything you are doing to look for a job, please put it on public because your recruiter won't have access to the private one. So let's put it in public. And this next one is very important, which is what? The README file. Your README file is where you summarize everything you've done in your code. And if they say a place where you blow your trumpet, this is the file. Nobody have the time to go inside your code and go and be checking it one by one. No, it is in the README file. You will start. You can give it a session. There is a session template. I can't even find it, but there is a session template that I have that, which is what? Number one, introduction. Number two, maybe summary of what you were able to do, and number three can be a discussion about the data set that you used for your project, and number four can be maybe your cleaning steps, your data preparation steps. I'm talking in terms of data science now. And part of your data preparation steps, you can speak about the libraries that you use in your project. Everything is on README. And maybe number five can now be your conclusion and recommendation. And if you have some charts, your README can allow you to paste some pictures. We might not go into those nitty-gritty today because of time, but just know that README is where you blow the trumpet of your project. So if you are very good with your README, I can tell you, people might not have time to read your code and do all those things, but if they can check your README and you are able to tell them about the libraries that you use and what you use each of them for. So it's not that you just tell me, I know how to use pandas, I know how to use what's the name, matplotlib, all those things. No, if I can see a README file of your project, it summarizes how you have used those libraries, and it just sell you off for me. You understand? So README, very important. So very important. Then git ignore. So what do we use git ignore for? So git ignore helps you to, because the expectation is when you're working on Git, you're working with other colleagues within your organization. And for developers within the organization, some people might be using Windows, people like me. Some people might be using MacBook, people like Zion, the Apple people. You understand? And for each of your IDE are your integrated development environment, be it VS Code, be it Atom, each of them have, will I say, background packages or background files that helps them to work. If you've seen a file from all those MacBook before, you see Mac OS something something. It always come in one small folder like this, right? So you use git ignore to ignore something like that, such that when you're publishing to the public environment like this, such file doesn't go with it. But all the necessary file that you created for your project will go and will be successful. So a good example I can put here, I can say, okay, because I'm using VS Code on my Visual Studio, on my system, I can say any jargons, I said jargon, anything that is being generated by Visual Studio should not be automatically posted into my Git repository. So this guy will look out for it and suppress it, but it's only the main files that were created for a project that will go. And that those Visual Studio packages doesn't follow, it doesn't mean my project won't work in the cloud. So it's just that at least when people with MacBook are downloading my file, they won't be seeing Visual Studio something. So that's why we use git ignore. Then the last one is your license, which most of the time I always ignore. But if anything you're creating, you want it to be public and you don't want anyone to be making reference to you that, oh, I copied professionals in data code using this GitHub repo and all those things. You can just say, okay, general public license. So the meaning of it is that it's generally available for anyone and everyone willing to use the code. And you'll be so surprised that all the Python libraries that you are using everything there in GitHub. So it's just that when you say, oh, pip install, you just pull it down from GitHub repository or yes, that is being stored. And that's why if you want to do something about scikit-learn, it can show you something in their repository where the code is being updated, contributors, and all those things. Yes. So with this, we've been able to create our first GitHub repository. All you just have to do is just click create. And that's it. And you can see your what's it called? The README. So README gives you the title, Learn Git. Can you see our first Git repository, learning on professionals in data and AI platform, right? So this one is just like a summary. But with what you have now, this is your Git environment. So every other things you'll be doing is just an update. You're just bringing up things. Yes, do we have any question? Not yet, which is good. So with Git, everything, you might choose to be like me, although I started learning coding on VS Code because it's very light. But the day I noticed that I can build my code on GitHub, I was so happy. And the reason for that is with this code space, I can, using internet and my browser, I can develop a whole solution using this code space. And this code space is nothing but a Visual Studio Code in the cloud. It comes as a GitHub package. Oh, I think I will. I have not mentioned it. So GitHub is owned by Microsoft. Git is a version control system that is publicly available. So they are just like all these Apache, Spark, all those things. So what I've noticed about all this big technology, even is that something will be available publicly. They will go ahead, create an interface, connect to the public resources, and based on their interface, they can now monetize it. You can see it's telling you GitHub Enterprise. That GitHub Enterprise will be paying. So you are paying Microsoft, but they are using, well, they will be paying the developers that are building the free version. So, but that's just the thing. So Microsoft is the owner of GitHub, but the Git, which is at the back, is publicly owned. So we have other GitHub, Git environment. We have something called GitLab. So he's also using Git, and in Microsoft, we also have Azure DevOps. So and with Azure DevOps, there is an aspect of it also that is using Git. But Azure DevOps, because it's within Microsoft Azure space, that one is their own full one. That one at least is for their customers. But this GitHub is public and they bought it and it's theirs. So yes, so that's a little background about GitHub. So that's why if you notice, most of the things you'll be seeing here are closely related to Microsoft. And a good example is this code space. So to activate your code space, just click this drop down. You can With this guy, you can clone. We still come to Git desktop, but if you go to code space, you can create a code space on this main branch. So this branch currently is your main branch. So you can create a code space on this main branch. It opens a new interface for you. And on this interface, you can see the Visual Studio Code logo. Yes, this is the Visual Studio Code logo. And the guy is setting up. So for my people in data science, my people that are new to programming. Yes, so this is just Visual Studio Code. You can see learn Git, right? And this guy is preparing the environment. I'm still in the cloud, but the guy is like creating everything. So he's connecting to it remotely. Do I have any question? All right. Now I have
Please,
my
can you
README.
go back on the last page, please?
Okay,
The
so if I
coding
come back here,
aspect.
just select the drop down here on the code space and go to code space, right?
Okay.
When you go to code space, just you will see you'll be able to open code space. And once you open code space, you have this guy. And this code space, you can do a setup. And because I like black themes, don't mind me. Don't mind anything dark. I can, yes, we are there. So this is my code space. And what do you do in GitHub? All you do is just add file. So I can come here. This thing, there is no button for me to write commit. Okay, so I can come here and I can add a file. And this file, I can say my text file, txt file. Or I just say my file. And you can see I just click on this plus sign. So it's added a new file. I can say my file .txt. So this guy will know that this is .txt and it's the same thing as your notepad. So it will open. I can say this is my first contribution, right? So this is my first contribution and I can save. The moment I save, it's telling me that this guy is on track. So there are some basic commands that we use in GitHub, and that's if I remember, is it git pull? So there is pull, there is add, there is commit, and there is push. So those four things. So, and the reason the meaning of pull is that you are pulling from the cloud. This guy is already telling you I'm there, but sometimes you want to merge your updates to what you have in the cloud. You know, this is what I have in the cloud. If you come here now, you won't see the text file yet. So, but I need to come here, and if I go to this, my source control, right? It's showing you that, okay, I've added a new file, right? And I can commit this guy. So it's expecting me to commit, so I can add, will I press the plus sign? So if I say stage change, yes, you press the plus sign, so it has staged my change, but is yet to be committed. So I can say my adding my new file. So before you commit anything, you need to put that message. That message is what you will see here. All this guy that you're having initial commit is like a message. So if I come here and I have adding my new file, I can click commit now. So the guy will commit, it has been pushed to the main branch now. So I can ask it to, so now it has committed, but it has not yet pushed. So it's like halfway through. So it's waiting for me to synchronize my change. And you can see the guy is saying what? Push. So I've using icon, I've done three things. I've add by using the plus sign. I have committed by clicking this button. And the last step is what? Push. So can you see push one commit to the origin? So then if I come here still, I won't see my new text file. But if I come here and I click this, It's telling you this action, we push and pull, just say okay. So it's doing the it's synchronizing my changes. Now you can see it's done. If I go back to my file, everyone is good and happy. So if I come back here, I can close my code space for now and refresh this page. Can you see my text file now? So without leaving my browser, I was able to add a text file. And this text file, hopefully time will permit us. I will show you how your text file, well, they said we can have part 2. But it's well, but let's see how far we can. So, and this text file, another beautiful thing is you can click on it here to see what is inside. And you can see this is my first contribution. If the guy is not looking fine, you can edit it here. It gives you an interface to edit. And here you can see I didn't even go to the code space. Here, I just want to make quick edit in my text. So this is my first contribution update. Let me just add update to it. Can you see it's telling me what? Is it that I cancel the changes or I commit? So I can say, okay, quickly commit these changes. And it's telling you that what? Commit message is asking you for the message. I can say, oh, update my file.text. So that's the message. I can say update my file. I can just do that. If you want to put any further description on what you've done, you can put it here. I can say commit changes. And this guy will synchronize. And if I go back to my learn Git, you can see update my file. You can see my last message. So that's step 1. Yes. So do we have any question? I wish we see something more interesting, and that's what will take us to the desktop environment. So if I come back to this code space, you can see local, and this local is you downloading GitHub desktop. So if you just go and look for, okay, I even opened this GitHub. So there is a documentation. You know, this software, they have documentation. So you can read through just to master what you're doing and everything. So you can say the first one, create a repository. We've done that, new repository, showing you the steps, but we were able to follow the steps that they give us. So this one is branching. That's another aspect of GitHub. And you can see a lot of documents around GitHub. So, but you can just Google GitHub desktop. So if you just say GitHub desktop, it shows you this site. And because I'm using Windows, that's why it's showing me this. So I won't be downloading it again. Yes, I've downloaded it before. So I will just come. So all you just have to do, download and install. And once you install, you can see it's telling me recently added. You can open. So when you open it, it's expecting you. So let me bring in my interface. So when you open it, just ignore this. When you open this, you can sign into GitHub. So I just say sign into GitHub. So I can say continue with browser. Okay, so continuing with browser is asking me for my other account. So it's telling me it wants to access. So this one is like my own personal one. I don't want to use this. 1 minute. So because I've logged in here before, I was thinking the guy will show me. So if I come here, I don't want to use my advanced. It's still saying my own account, but I don't want to use that. So maybe what will happen is, since we've created, yes, an account in GitHub, and I wish we can see Okay, so what will just happen is once you give it, you need to authorize it. So you authorize the GitHub desktop. So it's the way this guy is catching me, I don't like it, but it's fine. Okay, well, if that, okay, let me just sign in here. Don't worry, let me just sign in. So I'm just showing you what will happen. So in this environment, these are my two repositories. So in this environment, so I have two repositories, which are two, what's it called? Two repositories that I've worked with. And so for you also, that's what you'll be having. And one thing I would also like to mention here is that you can, I wish this thing allow me to, well, it's fine. So, but one thing I want to mention here is that you can create a folder in your environment whereby everything you're doing, you can see this GitHub text. So this guy, everything in my repository is in sync with what I have on my desktop. So if I make any updates here now, you will also see it in the cloud. Yes, and this environment is referring to this. If I can open this, 1 minute. Okay, so you can see this Oluwaseun Odeyemi environment, and you can see my repositories. So just like the way you created that your own, yes. So these are my own repositories for this, yes, for this environment. And this sample CV, what I will just do is to quickly recreate it and see how to push a CV file to the cloud and display it as public. And that you can share with people. So what I will do is on my GitHub desktop, I can just come here and say add. So I want to add a new repository. So I can come click a drop down to create a new repository. So I can say new. And this my repository name. I can say sample, can say PDAI CV, right? I can say training CV, right? And this guy is telling you, oh, which part do you want it to use? So I still wanted to use this, my GitHub text. And here, while you're creating it, if you wanted to go and use another folder, you can easily choose from here. So in this case, my git ignore, I can, this is the same thing I did online that I use Visual Studio, if you remember. And this is also, okay, it's asking you to initialize this repository with README. Do I want to do that? So you can say yes or no. You can, yes, I can put, oh, no, because the file I'm copying into this guy has a README. So I can ignore the README. So the license, I'm also using the public. Where is this public license? Okay, we have MIT, oh, GNU. Yes, I think there's the public stuff too. I can create repository. You can see I'm creating it on my desktop, right? Now I've created, I can, from my desktop, I can publish. I can publish repository and I'll just click publish from my desktop. So it's fetching origin, doing all the updates. If I come here and I refresh this, my repository is now 3. Can you see what I just created on my desktop? So this guy. So what we will now do is I will go and populate a sample CV on inside this repository. So let me just do that. So this is a sample CV that I'm using, right? We can share this with you. So I'll just copy everything that is there. You can see the CSS. So if you're a developer, you have all these CSS, images, attributes, all these things. And all these guys are nothing but text document. So you can see this guy is an HTML document. I can right click and open, I can open it in VS Code. Let me just put it that way. So all these guys, and you can see README here. That was why I didn't want to create that README again. So I'll just select this README, Control copy, and go back to my GitHub text and go inside my PDAI CV. And you can see Git attributes, Git ignore license. I will just paste this there. It's asking me that there are some two files that looks alike. I will just say replace. That's the Git ignore, Git attribute. I will just replace this guy. You can see on my desktop, I've replaced it with everything, the CSS file, the image. We can open the image. That's my picture greeting you. This is the icon for my CV. So this is what you'll be seeing. So all these guys were being tied together inside this index HTML. Okay, I can double click this guy and open in Visual Studio Code. Let me just say just once. So you just see it's just a bunch of text. They will tell you, programmers will tell you they are programming things. I won't say they are not programming things, but it's a bunch of text. And that's why GitHub, and they always use GitHub. And you can see it's just bunch of text, the way you have your text in Word document, but this one is on a black screen. And we all know how to get this black screen. It's nothing but Teams. So even on your Word document, you can get black screen. So all these ones are just like, and the beautiful thing is, if you see someone CV online and the person is using GitHub, you can track the person, download the person full CV and update it to yours. Yes. So that's why I said we can share this. And we've seen what is there. And this is my skill, all those things. In order to give it sense, we go back to our GitHub desktop. Now you can see what GitHub is doing. It has tracked all the updates that I have. So it's telling me that, okay, I have changed 13 files. And within this 13 file, I can say, okay, I want to commit this now. So I can say uploading my CV, right? Then I will commit this to main. And once I do that, it asks me to I will push to origin. Then this guy will refresh, push everything to the cloud, and I can go back to my GitHub within this environment. And oh, this guy is in private. I missed that while I was creating it. I don't know how, but but can I change it? I'm not sure, but it's fine. But I told us if you put it on private, it's you're the only one that can see it. So that's just the issue. So, but what we'll be looking at is not private. So I will share that. So the next thing is, remember what I did was to just click on this guy. So these are my repositories. Just click on this guy. So what we want to do now is very important, and it's 8 o'clock already. And why it's important is that we need to go to settings, right? I want to make this my CV a website that you can visit. And that's why I'm doing all this. I can go to pages. Because I'm using private. Okay. So, but okay, that's fine. So if I come to pages, there are some buttons here that I can use to activate my page. So let me go back and go and show you what I was trying to achieve using a repository that is public. You can see this sample CV is public. So if I come here, because it's in the public space, if I go to the settings, I'm able to rename, right? I'm able to rename, and I can come here and edit. I can, yes, I can leave my branch, and So template repository. So I was expecting, yes. So, but with this, I can, with this, my CV, template repository. Okay. I think on this, let me just check what is inside the sample CV. Okay. So I have my files. Yes, I have my files, my contacts. Okay. Okay. So if I go to the settings pages, okay, I didn't click pages the other time. I think I was in the, I was in the, go back. Yes, so if you go to pages, so this is what I was looking for, this main. So on your own system, it will be on none. If it's on none, this is what you'll be seeing, none. But if I come here, I can select main. And the moment I save it, it automatically creates a GitHub page for me. And you can see this, my GitHub page, is telling me this is my sample CV. You can see this oluwaseunodeyemi.github.io sample CV, right? If I click on this, I can say visit sites, then this becomes my website. So all those codes you're seeing becomes this. And it's a functioning website, last updated in 2024. So this is my website. If you want to see me on LinkedIn, you can open this, takes you to LinkedIn. And if you want to contact me, you can contact me here. And all these things are nothing but what? Just text. Yes. So I think that's it. And maybe subsequently, so the subsequently, at least I have a use case of a data science project that you can, all you just have to do is just to copy and paste the file. Just create, just create. So let me see if I can use, so if I come to repository, I can just create another new repository. And we've explained that repository is nothing but what? A folder. I can say first data science project, right? I can just say my project inside description, my project. And this guy is public. I can say how the readme file and your license. Let me just general public license, create. So once you create this, it gives you this guy. You can go back to your GitHub desktop and you can fetch origin. So it's try to look for all the changes that you have in your origin. So I can, so new project, I'm not seeing it yet. So let me look for it. So I can say clone repository, good. So just go to clone repository. You can see first data science project here. So I want to clone it. I want to bring it down to my desktop. So that's cloning. So I will just select my first project and just select clone. So it's cloning the first data science project. And now I have first data science project on my desktop. I can go back to the folder that I was using the other time. And now I should have my first data science project. And once I have this, I can come here. Inside this my training folder, I have product sales analysis in Python. So I can just copy this guy, go back to my training folder and go to my GitHub first data science project and paste this. I can say replace file in the destination. I want to show you the power of README. So this README, if I double click on it, can you see what this guy is showing? Analyzing data, Amazon electronic sales with Python. Description, this project dive into the world of electronics, other things, the technology, Python, analytics, analysis and visualizations, library used, pandas. But all these things might still look like Greek to us now. But if you go back to your GitHub desktop and you say, and you type for meeting, okay, let me just say my project. Yes, project, and I commit this to the main. So this is the last activities. Thank you for staying. Then I can push to origin. So it's pushing. I just saying 0 changes. Okay. Okay, it's showing 30%. Why the delay? So maybe the files are heavy, but it's fine. But the main thing is from here, 40% is really taking its time. I can refresh. It's not there yet. So the guy is doing for over 10. Okay. Let's just wait, 80%. Let me confirm I have my first data science project. Okay, so I think this is the heavy file. And because in this file, we have the data set, we have the dashboard, we have the data set, we have product sales analysis. This one is Jupyter Note and sales analysis in Jupyter Note. So I think that's why. Good. So it's done now. So if I come back here and refresh, good. Now, can you see your README? Can you see what your README is doing? So analyzing Amazon Electric sales data with Python. This is the description, and this is where you can get the data set. You can see there is even a link to your data set, and yes, you can see Amazon project sale, so product sales. Yes, so I think that's it from me tonight. Thank you so much.